Billionaires are adding shares of energy companies to their portfolio. So, should you be buying energy stocks? What are the best energy stocks out there to buy right now? And why are they doing this? Let's go ahead and break it down. So, there are billionaires out there like Warren Buffett who spent $434 million on Oxy Petroleum. And then you also had Carlos Slim who spent $75 billion on a company called, and let me get this right, PBF. Okay, that is the name of the company, and that's also an energy company that he added to his portfolio. Now, what are they doing here? Because combined, just the two of them alone, that is $500 million in energy stocks, and they are not alone. Now, I am also nowhere near a billionaire, but we were on to something when we talked about NRG, and just last week, I added even more shares of NRG. But what are they seeing? Why are they adding energy stocks? And what is going on here? There are about 3 reasons that I've identified and researched as to why they're looking at energy and why you may want to consider it, and about 5 companies you might want to start your watch list with. So first one is this. It's hot. It is hot, okay? I'll go into why it is so hot because I got a story for y'all, but energy stocks tend to do pretty well in the summertime for obvious reasons. Gas price, especially oil and gas stocks, there are different types of energy stocks. So you got oil and gas, you got like electric companies, utilities, things like that. But long story short, we spend more money on air conditioning, gas, jet fuel, all that type of stuff. You start to see those prices start to spike and creep up during times like this. People hit the road more. You guys get the point here. And if you happen to invest when things are slightly cheaper, let's say March, April, you may be able to buy these on the cheap and get you a little bit of a, let's call it a swing trade. And as things get hotter, as these prices start to creep up a bit, you may be able to get a solid price, make some money as things get hotter and things escalate, and then sell off for a pretty good profit a few months down the line. Now, personally, I like to hold for a bit longer. Also, winter is coming. Now, it feels like a long time away, but also, and we've talked about this, I feel like we talk about it every single year, but you know how it is. When it gets cold, we also burn more energy, right? It feels like it gets colder every single year, especially in a place like Chicago, where they have, I don't know, what y'all call it, cyclone bomb or whatever crazy stuff happens out there when it gets that cold. But that happens, right? And we start to see energy stocks tend to do well too. That is the first reason why I started to buy NRG in December of 2023. That is when I started to buy. You can go back and check the video on that. So that winter summer dynamic is one part of why you may want to consider and why they started to buy. Now, Warren Buffett, you know how he operates. Now, one of the reasons why he started to buy Oxy Petroleum is because it is a company that is, I'm not going to say completely debt free, but that have managed their debt quite well. He actually started buying, I want to say about 2 years or so ago, and the company did do well at that point in time. It took a dip once we had the conflict, or once the Russian-Ukraine conflict started, and then it has had a complicated history just based on what is going on with oil and gas, and there is a risk there. However, energy is back in style, right? So that is something to consider. Also, do note pricing. There is a dynamic now just in the stock market where all of us, if you've been investing in tech, you've made a lot of money. And at this point, you should consider diversifying. That doesn't mean you have to sell everything. I think for some people, especially new investors, you say diversify and you say sell some of your energy or some of your energy stocks. So your tech stocks, people feel like you got to sell it all. No, you don't have to do that. When I said I'm selling Nvidia in that video, I didn't sell it all. I just sold some of it. So let's say if I have $1,000 of Nvidia or something like that, if I have 1,000, maybe I'm selling it down to 700. So I only sold $300. I'm taking that and investing it in an energy stock or taking it and investing it somewhere else. The reason why I'm doing that is to de-risk myself and not have so much money in technology. But if you're investing in something like Broadcom or Google or Amazon or any of these great tech companies, or especially in the semiconductor space, you've made a lot of money. If you have 5 or 10 of these tech stocks, you've made a ton of money. Take some of that money off the table and diversify in other areas so that you can protect yourself in case tech falls off. It did happen just 2 years ago. Do I anticipate it happening anytime soon? No. Did I anticipate it happening in 2022? No. So we don't know what is going to happen or how it's going to happen. We don't have a crystal ball, but the name of the game is being diversified. So having your things in different places, and energy tends to be one of those places where you want to be, especially in a time like this. So if you have tech stocks that have done well, just take a little bit. Just take a little bit off the top, put it in other places, and that seems to be the billionaire move to make. They are the expert investors, obviously. That is where they are moving right now. So what are the best stocks right now? I have a list of some that you may want to consider. Now, the way I'm going to do this list is I'm just going to name these off. I'm not going to do a super detailed breakdown of these because they're all in energy. I think we pretty much know what energy is. Some are oil, some are electric, some are utilities. What I will say though is some of these have been in other lists in other places. For example, NRG is going to be on here, and we've talked about NRG in our under $100 video. Okay, so we've talked about that one before. So I'm gonna start off with NRG, up 51% in the last 6 months, up 107% over last year at the time we're doing this video. Okay, talked about it, what, 3 or 4 times now. Okay, just last week I bought more shares of Nvidia so I can do some cover calls. Told y'all about it then. Okay, not repeat myself anymore. If you want to learn more about that, you can check a card that should be like right here about all the moves that I made in my portfolio. So you definitely want to go back and check that one out. Next is Constellation Energy Group. This is an energy stock that I did buy in my public portfolio last year. I don't know if I bought it in December of 2023 or in June of 2023. I actually have to go back and check to see when I bought it. So I don't know if it's been a year or just 6 months since I've owned it. But last I checked, it was up like at least 30%, 30 to 40% last time I checked. But it is up 84% in the last 6 months, up 136% over the last year. I know I'm not up 136%, so it must have been around the 6 month mark or so for me. Hopefully I can get that return by continuing to hold. Next here is Targa Resources Group. This is one I know for a fact that we have named at some point on some list, because again, we have been hitting on energy every now and then here and there. Targa Resources is up 55% in the last 6 months and up 71% over the last year. That is very, very, very solid. It's not tech, but it's very good. Okay, so it is something that you definitely want to consider. This one I had to double check twice because I don't know how. I don't know how we missed it. I don't know. Okay, I haven't seen anybody talk about this company. Okay, so unless I missed it, and one of y'all said it in the comments, and I just used a lot of comments, maybe I missed it. But here's the thing. Vistera, okay, VST is the ticker symbol here. Okay, now I've already given it to our members only. Okay, they heard about it first. Okay, they always get the videos first. They get the secret tips first. But I'm telling y'all this because y'all subscribed. Okay. All right, now this stock, time we doing this video, is up 133% in the last 6 months and up 242% over last year. How this escaped my view, I do not know. But it is now on our radar. VST is in the energy space. We can do a whole deep dive. Just let me know in the comments. This is the one. Okay, this is the one that I'm going to be looking at all week. And I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do with it. Because again, y'all know this is around the time I've already made my moves. I'm gonna have to make an exception for something like this. So I'm gonna go check the piggy bank, see what I got left in there. And we're going to see what we're going to do with a company like this. So I'm going to finish my research and look at it. Y'all want a deep dive breakdown, let me know. I got some research to do right after this video. All right. Next one here is Diamondback. Now, Diamondback is interesting. The ticker symbol, for whatever reason, is FANG, F-A-N-G. Now, just looking at the numbers blindly, the stock is up 30% in the last 6 months and up 53% over last year at the time we're doing this video. But there is an asterisk here. If you were to look at a chart of the stock, it really had a spike in the last like 2 months or so. It's not a consistent 30%. It's been great for the last 6 months consistently. It's been great over the last year consistently. It is more similar to Tesla, which we did talk about yesterday, where it hadn't been all that great, except something happened and boom, now it's good very recently. So I don't know what that something was for Diamondback. That is something, if I were investing in it, that is the question I would ask. And is it going to continue to do that? And what was that event? That's the question I would ask. Okay, so that's the one that I circled and had a question mark if it were my money. Okay, if it were my money, but you guys know there are already two companies that I currently own on this one or on this list, and that's NRG and that's Constellation Energy. The next question I'm trying to figure out is, can I go for VST, and is that going to be too much energy for my personal portfolio right now? That is what I'm personally trying to figure out. Now, if you already have a bunch of energy stocks and you're trying to figure out, okay, well, I've got energy, I know that, you know, my stocks or my portfolio is too heavy there, where else can I diversify and what other companies should I consider adding? Then this is the video that you want to watch next.